Welcome, reading one. With grace and gratitude, I am in such gratitude to hold this space for you today. Seriously, I feel like I could say gratitude one more time because I'm feeling this really heavy energy with you guys. And these are messages that you need to hear from Spirit right now. I wasn't sure what was going to come down the pipeline, but I'm just going to let's just get into it. There's a lot coming through, but let's just get into it. Okay, so you chose sunglasses. I'll wear my sunglasses at night, right? Okay, so, oops, what's happening? Oh my gosh, it's doing one of those weird things. Sorry. This mode, I hardly ever use this mode on my camera because it doesn't like to focus very well, but I felt like they wanted this kind of like boxy, intimate reading today, and I feel like the box has something to do with it too, like maybe like boxed in, or you're feeling a little boxed in. So sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. Oh my gosh. I swear I didn't see that until the focusing out. No, seriously, that was like really crazy. So sunglasses. Oh, also when I started your reading, my phone was at 81%. So I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but also the time was 11:22. So that's definitely an angel number. That's for you to look up. 81 might mean something. It could be a mirrored version of 18. Also, if you add them together, it's the number 9. I apologize. There's so much going on around right now. There's like, we live right on the ocean, and there's like a Coast Guard school nearby. And so the helicopters like go over this passage. So anyway, and we've been hearing a lot of like, trucks today. So I apologize for the noise, but it's really hot and I have to have all my windows open. Also, can I just say, is it just me, or do you guys see a shadow of like almost like a hand? And I don't know where it's coming from or what's happening. You know what I mean? I can't tell. Let's see if I do you see what I'm talking about? Like right here though, it almost looks like, you know, when you're a kid and you make a turkey in school with your hand. Did you guys ever do that in your school? Did you ever like make a turkey with your hand? Do you see that right here? It's like the fingers are here, like there's the turkey head. Also, if you did not watch the full moon and Sagittarius reading, I highly suggest you go and watch it, because we spoke about a lot of really cool things about releasing and wishes and all that. But also turkey came in as one of our spirit animals, and the fact that there's like, I don't know if you guys can see it or I can see. The thing is with my gifts, or whatever you call them, my skills, I don't know what you call them, whatever I am, sometimes I see things other people don't see. And sometimes everyone's like, oh no, I see that too. I'm like, okay, cool. But I always like to say it, because if you don't see it, I was like, there is like a turkey there, like a turkey head, and it looks like, but that's what I'm saying. Like I see like a hand, like it, because obviously the turkey feathers don't look like that, but that's what I'm getting right now. So there's something to do with that. And it could even be that, for some of you, I'm getting that you are actually the stalker, the looker, the watcher. You're the one that gaslights people, because your perception, you're like so focused out, like you're so, it's like your perception of the world is just, it's been off since you were a kid. Like that's what I'm getting. And I'm getting a lot of you are artists too. And that you like sunglasses, like you hide behind things. Maybe you hide behind sunglasses, or maybe you hide behind real glasses, or maybe, you hide behind your clothing, or, it could be anything. But I definitely feel like some of you are hiding, you're masking something. We do have extra cards. Let me see if they want to bring any extra cards. Do we have any extra cards for this, Spirit, before we go forward? No? Okay. So let's see. Are there any other messages specifically? I'm actually seeing, this could only be for one of you, but I'm actually seeing that for some of you, either you did participate in light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board. You know what I'm talking about? Either you did participate in that, or that's something you always wanted to do, but you didn't know if you really believed in it. So like maybe from the background, like you were stalking things about magic, looking at things about magic, watching TV shows about magic, And then when, maybe you're somebody who is like what they would consider like, a goody two shoes or a sporto or something like that, right? But deep down, you're like, I am a total drama geek. Like I became a drama geek because, and I wear that title proudly, we were a bunch of fucking weirdos. And I loved it because around all my other quote unquote friends, I had to be cool. I had to, but with my group of thespians, like we can be ourselves, and I'm also hearing like music, acting. For some of you, I feel like it's time for you to start a YouTube channel. And I don't care if you're like, it's really stupid. Nobody's going to care about, my macrame paintings that I do. And I'm like, au contraire, mon frere. There is this person that I found that came into my orbit on YouTube who is an artist. She's a painter. Also, the number 23 is like screaming out at me. So I don't know if that means anything to you. It's also the number 5, which is change and transformation. But yeah, they're saying you need to step into the light and become the star that you were meant to be. You wouldn't be this person, or you wouldn't have all of these gifts, and you wouldn't be silly and funny and quirky and weird if you didn't have, if you weren't meant to bring that out into the world, right? But anyway, this person, she does these paintings with a like a squeegee. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but she does I don't know how she does it, but she's amazing. And she does like drops of paint, and you can kind of see it looks like a kind of like a pixel picture. But then she takes this squeegee and she runs the paint down, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, it's an owl wearing a bow tie. And you're like, how did she do that? And it's so cool. So you just never know. And she's got like so many followers. And, YouTube right now, I feel like, is a really interesting place. Everybody is kind of like finding their footing, finding their place in the world. And I think social media is helping people do that. But I don't like the competition of like TikTok or some of these things where, or any of these trends that get started. I feel like they keep having me shift the energy for you. Or any of these trends that get started that are trying to get us to compare each other or be the same. That's really unhealthy. And I feel like for some of you, you're like, oh, I've seen what somebody does what I do, but they do it better. You know what? No, they don't, because they're not you. And there might be something else that you do that adds a little flavor. Maybe you're somebody who likes to cook, and you have somebody in your family who had special needs in their diet, and so you learned how to make homemade ketchup, sugar free. That's like really awesome. Yeah, somebody can look for that. But also, if you have something on YouTube, there might be somebody who's more visual. Maybe they don't search online. Maybe they don't know about, mama's blog or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like there's always a place for you. If it's a passion or something you love, then you're here to bring it to the world. And you may think it's as simple as ketchup, but it's, yeah, it's as simple as ketchup sometimes. Sure. You know why? Because almost all ketchup has sugar in it. And you know how many people use ketchup? A lot. And when I started making my own, not only did I like my ketchup better than commercial ketchup, but I realized, I was like, if you don't use it after a while, it goes bad. And so I was like, yeah, why do we have to keep it, it's because they have preservatives and all these, but we don't want preservatives in our body. These are just examples. I don't know why food came into it. Maybe you are somebody who is a foodie, or you want to do a food truck. And also, I had something come into my orbit recently that spirit really wanted me to convey to somebody. So I feel like it's you guys. But let's just say you have always wanted a store, and you have an Etsy store and it's doing okay, but like you find like when you're at festivals or you're like out and about with people like love what you're wearing. You're like, oh, I made this, and they're like, oh my gosh, how do I find you? And you're like, here's my Etsy. Again, not that many people are that into it. So, the internet, right? Some people really like to still shop and browse and go into brick and mortar. There is a way that you can either just, get something small. Instead of like, maybe in your mind's eye, you had thought like 500 square feet minimum would be your brick and mortar store, right? And you're like, I don't know. But then I have to go there every day. And then you're like, I don't know. Or maybe I have to go there, 5 days a week. That's just too much because, I'm a sensitive, I'm an empath. I can't handle a lot of energy or people, blah, 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 or the traffic. I don't know if I want to drive every day. You know what? You can make your own hours. You can make your own hours, and you make your own days. If you make enough on your Etsy shop to support even 1 month of rent, imagine what you could do if you were doing both. And maybe, you work on them both. I had somebody who, really successful, by the way, really successful Etsy. She only ships on Fridays. She puts it out there. She's like, this is what I do. This is, me. I'm an artist. I'm not tethered to my computer. I'm not tethered. I want to make sure you get your package and everything's beautiful, but I only go to town once a week. It's my thing on Friday. It's like 10:10 when I look down, and then it went to 10:11. So I'm getting a lot of angel energy. Also, number one's about new beginnings, starting something new. So they just want you to think about it, or maybe it's something you have in your van, or like you get like some type of vehicle, or you drive it around. They just want you to expand your mind a little bit. It doesn't have to be just like everybody else. Maybe you're only open Thursday through Saturday. Find out the day you were born. Like, I love Mondays, and I never understood, like everybody else, most people hate Mondays because that's when they go back to work, right? But I loved Monday. I loved Monday. I was always like, I don't know why. I'm going back to work part, yeah, but like Mondays in general always seemed like good to me. And then as I like kind of came into my stuff, I realized that Monday was my day, which is also why I started these moon cycle readings on my channel. And Spirit wanted me to get really in touch with myself and get in touch with like the energy of like when I was born and all of these things. Lately, I've been really getting into my astrology chart. I highly recommend you do the same. There is, I think her name's Marin Altman. I'm subscribed to her on my Lula's Life. I just know her name's Marin. Anyway, really great astrologer. There's so many, Braca Goldsmith, Pam Gregory. There's a lot of great astrologers out there, but you can get your astrology report, your birth chart for free. And it has really been helping me to understand things, like to the point where I'm like, my Venus is in Capricorn. And she said, most people adjust to what their Venus is. And I was like, that's interesting. And I looked up Capricorn, and in my mind's eye, not that none of the Capricorns I knew weren't stylish, they were. It's just that I didn't really, I'm a triple Sag, my moon's in Scorpio. So, but interestingly enough, when I started to read about it, like the base of like the fashion for Capricorn, I did a lot of research around it. I'm like, holy shit, that's how I dress. I was like, oh my gosh, but in my way, right? In my way, but like the color palette and everything. And like, I was like, holy fuck, that's like crazy. Then I started researching it more. It is really exciting. So maybe you've done this already. Maybe you haven't. Maybe this is for one person, but I found it to be really exciting. I myself, though, have to be really mindful of astrology, because I think if I get too caught up in it, then I'm like, oh, this is the day I'm supposed to have the best love day with my partner, and they're doing something and I'm doing something. I'm like, no, we should cancel everything and be together. It's like, no, you don't have to get too literal. All of these things are just guidelines for our free will to make the choices that we want to make. But I am definitely getting that for some of you, it's like almost like you're looking and stalking other people. I almost feel like too, like some of you, you'll look at something and you're like, I can do that better. And Spirit's like, yeah, well, put your money where your mouth is. Then fucking do it. Like, I dare you. I double dog dare you, right? And they're not saying it to be a dick. They're saying it to like, be like, then do it. Like, that's what you're here for. 1258. Ooh. And 58 is also the number 13. So anyway, if whatever this means to you, I feel like this must be mine, because 1213 is my birthday, and when I looked down, it was 13, and now it's going into all these things in 13. So, but we are one, right? So I share these things with you, right? I do these things too. And not even like meaning to, but I will find myself later thinking about what somebody's doing, and I'm like, man, I did that like 10 years ago. And I'll be like, oh, blah, 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 or these young people are doing this. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. It's because I was ahead of my time. And I kept trying to do the things I wanted to do then because I was ahead of my time. And nobody, they're like, yeah, your voice is interesting. It's unique, as a singer and stuff. But they're like, and I feel like people like Adele and like Miley Cyrus and so many have like really changed, this view of like, we don't need to sound like this. We want to hear you're different, you're weird, you're whelps, you're like, that's part of you. And the truth is, the bottom line is, you're a storyteller, right? Like Taylor Swift, she's become a great singer. But when she first started, I remember I'm like, man, she is an amazing, and she's my birthday sister. So I'm like, but I remember thinking, man, she is an amazing songwriter. She is a great performer. I just love her. But I remember thinking like, I mean, I love her voice, but would I put her like next to Christina Aguilera? No. But the truth is, she wasn't trying to be Christina Aguilera. That's not what she's, there for. Christina Aguilera has her place and Taylor has her place, right? So like, we all have our place. And I feel like some of you, I keep hearing, I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I want to let it show, right? And that came out earlier, and I heard this thing from Spirit. It's like, yeah, like be yourself. Because now we're opening up the pathways for everyone to be themselves. and it's a new world out there, and they don't want you to live in fear or be afraid. Also, they're bringing me up to the tree. I think there's something on the lens. Sorry about that. And I'm hearing to get outdoors more. You really need to, all of you, get outdoors more. Any more cards, Spirit? Okay, I think that's it for you guys. Are there any more messages? Do we have any more messages for reading one, Spirit? Do we have any energies or entities, family members, any messages from any passed on loved ones? Because this is a messages from Spirit, and I am getting the chills right now. Okay, I heard Bethy or Bethany or something. It went by really quickly. I was like, whatever it was, it went by quickly, almost like they were like I was like, does this mean it's urgent? And they were just trying to be polite. So I feel like whoever this is, Bethany, they just wanted to say hello. And I'm hearing Grandma Bess, and then I heard like Grandpa, but I heard Porgy and Bess. So I don't know if that means anything to you guys. And I heard Grandma and Grandpa. So like maybe you have a Grandma and Grandpa that like, you know, their nicknames were Porgy and Bess or something like that. But they're together, and they're showing me that they're very, very, very happy. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like a strong African American vibe. Like, and I say that because it feels like it's an energy of enslavement, and that like they're so proud of you and so happy because like you are the breakers. All of you on this reading are the breakers of your ancestral chain. Like there's no more shame, no more, you know what I mean? Like you are the leaders, you are the path makers. So they're saying, don't be afraid, you know, like a lot of our ancestors were enslaved in different ways and different times and different cultures and different places on the earth, different dimensions. And if you have noticed, the dimensions are bleeding together, and they're just saying to you that it's time for you to come forth and do what you want to do. Also, some of you, I feel like you have a family story to tell, and it's really big, and you need to write it, because I see somebody writing a story and it keeps going back to the plantation. And it could even be that like I don't know if you remember, but like there's been quite a few quote unquote, you know, white Caucasian American, but you know they're all different backgrounds too, right? But there are, from these shows like Finding Your Roots and blah 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 blah, but they're showing that these white families are you know, these people are finding out that they had slaves, right? That their family had these slaves, and they're like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And now there's like, they want to give back. And so it could even be like, maybe you're going to write a story backwards. Like you're going to be like, I went through this box, I was in the South visiting my granny, you know what I mean? And it just feels like that. Or it could even be a story that you've been thinking, and it could be that you're downloading something from your ancestors, and you're like, I live in fucking the Bronx in New York, and you're like, I don't know why I have this story, and I'm white, and I don't feel right to tell this story. They're like, tell the fucking story. Because we get these lines blurred because we were told that there are like these limitations and these lines, you know, between white, black, you know, green, purple, man, woman, you know, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. None of that matters. It's the soul, and you're just having a human experience in that particular avatar that is being called white, that's being called black, that's, you know what I mean? But it doesn't, they're here to tell you that you are meant to tell a story. And so this may be just for one person, and it could even be for some of you, you're meant to tell a story through music. Either way, I'm hearing storytellers, take the shades off, no more hiding, no more watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, and having a perception of who you think you are and focusing out, because they need you to focus in on who you are and what you were brought here to do, because you're here to shake up a whole slew and generation of people, and only you will know. Also, for some of you, I'm hearing, if it resonates with you, take it. The turtle just came through. So the turtle spirit animal is amazing. I highly recommend working with the turtle. And, you know, as the saying goes, slow and steady wins the race, says the turtle, right? So take it slow, take it one breath, one moment at a time. I'm going to try one more time for cars, and then I think we're done. And do we have any more channeling coming through? Okay, so let me ask, do you want to show this? Okay. Do you want me to read it? Do you want them to just go to this? Okay, so for some of you that were pulled to reading 3, that's not going to be for everybody. So don't make it your story if it's not. But for those of you who were pulled to reading 3, I highly recommend you go check out reading 3. And how lucky are you at this point? I don't even know what reading 3 is yet, but that's exciting because there I have 2 piles. I have a pile of extra cards that were pulled in the full moon and Sagittarius reading that they told me would come to this reading. And then I have 2 cards that are just the other readings. And I asked if we wanted to pull any of the cards in, and they just said no. Go to reading 3. And if you're called to reading 2, go to reading, what'd you say? Go to reading 2? No. No. It was almost like they were like, no, not right now. Not right now. Maybe someday, but if you're here, reading 3, maybe, but reading 2, no. And if that makes you curious to go see reading 2, that's fine. Just know that it's not for you right now. Whatever that means. Oh, I love spirit. Okay, any more messages? Nope, that's it. Till next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. And all of my information is in the About section. If you would like to contribute to the work on this channel, or if you would like to support my other channel, Lula's Life, head on over there and check out my stuff over there. All right, take good care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. Blessed be. Aho.